Welcome back to the BTS Happy Hour podcast. I'm your host, Andrea. In mid-May, BTS started a voting campaign called MyBTSTracks. The first tweet talking about this said, the hashtag MyBTSTracks voting for ARMY's favorite BTS song starts now. Will your choice make it to the finals? And then they had links and posts where you could vote for the songs in Instagram stories, and they also had a Twitter hashtag for this. And they seemed to have some kind of bracket of BTS songs that were being voted on. I don't know how many there were total that they started with, but you would see polls where it's like this song or this song, and then you just pick one. And there were popular title tracks among the options, but there were also some fan favorite B-sides like Louder Than Bombs and Paradise and Heartbeat. People got excited because they could vote for these lesser acknowledged songs, and we didn't know what this was going to be used for. Like, what if one of these songs that are fan favorites wins? Are they going to perform it live? Are they going to record it or do something special with it? And so people were invested in voting for those B-side songs, especially the Louder Than Bombs fans. And they had a pretty strong voting block for a little while there. And it did win the vote in the wildcard category. May 15th is when the top 3 songs were chosen. So the end result of all this voting was that Fake Love, Life Goes On, and Blood, Sweat, and Tears were the 3 songs. I didn't know they were going to end with 3. I thought maybe it would be 1, but I guess they were going for three songs that got the most votes. I was fine with these results. That's probably what I would have voted for if I saw, all of them in total. And these are all title track songs, so it shouldn't be surprising that they did well. But I did think maybe the Louder Than Bombs voters might have squeaked in there. So I don't know. If it's possible that they had enough votes at some point? It's hard to tell. Or those title tracks just so popular to begin with that they would have won regardless. But I don't know. It's a little weird because I was like, okay, maybe Louder Than Bombs will be third place and then, everybody's happy. But makes you think the conspiracies would Hybe rig their own poll just so BTS wouldn't have to do anything with Louder Than Bombs, which I guess they aren't big fans of performing or doing anything with. And since we don't know what the surprise at the end was going to be, it was like, okay, well, it would have been fun to see whatever it is with Louder Than Bombs. So on May 25th, they announced what the MyBTSTracks were for, and they posted on social media, and they said, "Are you ready? BTS and Benny Blanco are joining forces for a MyBTSTracks special remix made from the songs chosen by ARMY." So Benny Blanco, who we know is a fan of BTS, he went to one of the Vegas concerts, and I don't know if he has a residency, but he's often a DJ at the Vegas nightclubs. So it makes sense that, he was there already. He took a picture with them backstage. And so he was I think people thought, he might work with them at some point. But it's cool that they pulled him in to work on this project. And, I wonder, because if May 15th, they had the final songs, and then May 25th, they announced that Benny Blanco made a remix. Is that enough time to, work his magic with those 3 songs? I don't know. I'm not a sound engineer. It's hard to say, like, how long this process takes. I'm sure some people, it takes, look at Kanye West. He takes a very long time to finalize a song. I guess it depends how much of a perfectionist you are, or how your process is. Are you trying out like every different beat behind it and different instruments, and you're changing like all the different elements of it? Then it would take a long time. But if you have, something in mind already and you're just trying to recreate the beat or the song that you hear in your head, then that'll probably take less time. So yeah, I guess but the way the dates worked, if they knew May 15th and then May 25th they had the finished song, well, that's 10 days. So I guess in theory it's possible that project could be completed in that time. And on May 26th, they released the remix, and it's about 1 minute, and it's a pretty cool mashup of the 3 songs. It just plays like a little bit of Blood, Sweat, and Tears first, and then it goes into Life Goes On, and then Fake Love. I think that's the order. They posted links to it for Instagram, TikTok, and Shorts. So it seems like they want people to create videos using the remix and be creative with it. That seems to be their strategy. I don't see that it's released on Spotify or any other streaming platform, so I don't think they intended it to be a song that you can stream and just listen to passively, not doing anything and not making a video out of it. So yeah, it looks like they don't want you to just listen to this 1 minute remix. They want you to go and make a video somewhere, and this will help market for Proof, I'm sure, and more people discover BTS that way. The most mysterious part of all this is at the end there's a voice on the remix track saying BTS and then an ooh and ah after that. It doesn't seem like you would end a song with ooh ah, so people think it could be a clip from another song on the album, or it's a transition to something, like maybe an interlude or repeated part from another song maybe. And people think the voice that's saying BTS sounds like Snoop Dogg, even though it's distorted and, they made it like echo or whatever. So it does sound like him. And we know that he is working with BTS. We just don't know on what. And I mean, I wouldn't think that this is the extent of it. Like, it wouldn't just be him saying BTS for a second on a 1 minute track. So it must be a hint to something in the future. Speaking of Louder Than Bombs, we all know it's the 10th track on the Map of the Soul 7 album, and it's written by the Rap Line and Troye Sivan, as well as some other songwriters. And I do remember it as, a song that they collaborated with another artist on. I remember the Troye Sivan angle when the, Map of the Soul 7 was being promoted. He was like, it's great to work with BTS or whatever he said. And so this is the song that came from that. And I think that's the only one that he has worked on with BTS. And I don't know exactly like what parts of it he contributed to. But yeah, I connect him with this song for sure. And there is a very vocal set of ARMY that lives for this song. And I think it's not a bad song. It's just that on that album, I would rather listen to any one of the other songs. And I mean, this is an album that has On and Black Swan and 0 O'Clock and My Time and Filter, and I could just name every song and I'm like, oh yeah, I definitely want to listen to that song. And I guess Louder Than Bombs, it sounds pleasant, it just doesn't have any like it factor for me. And I would often listen to this album in order, and it's right after My Time. And then if I have my phone handy, I would look down and I would see, that's next. And I wanted to just go straight to On, Ugh, and 0 O'Clock, which is like right after that. So, I mean, that's just my feeling on it. I don't hate this song or dislike it or anything. It's just that, it's not, I wouldn't put it at the top of my list of, making a BTS playlist. And, I don't mind that people love it. And of course, we don't all have to agree on everything. I do hear the argument that this is the only song on this album that BTS have never performed live at least once. So I think that would be something to see if they could perform it once and just, I think they've said this is a pretty difficult song to sing, though, so I don't know, what instance that would happen. But yeah, I know tons of people love it, and maybe I'm in the minority here, or maybe this is a hot take, but it doesn't do it for me. And I remember there was an episode of Run BTS where BTS was trying to predict the results of the army poll of their songs and, all these things that they voted on. And the question was like, what song do you want to hear live? And then the number one result was Louder Than Bombs. And then like all the members were just completely baffled by this. They had no idea Army was pining for this song. And yeah, this was just a surprise to them. I guess it's like, oh, that song? That's just, a song we did that, we don't even perform it. So I don't think they understand the love that people have for this song. So I think, at some point they will perform it at least once. And maybe it might be an informal thing, like Jungkook singing on Instagram Live or something, or on a V Live. So I would just hold on to that hope. If those of you who really want to hear the Louder Than Bombs at some point, I'm sure it'll happen. So there's a rumor going around about Jennie and V being seen on a date that is just kind of all over social media, and especially like all K-pop and some of the other K-pop gossip sites. And I know that this is before BTS comeback, so a lot of ARMY is trying to not pay any attention to that, and other people are like, well, we need to get to the truth so this doesn't keep being discussed and then distract from BTS promoting their music. So yeah, I don't know where I really stand on that, but I would like to know what is going on. So what happened was, okay, I guess I don't pay that much attention to other artists besides BTS, but apparently Jennie and G-Dragon, who are supposedly dating, there was talk that they broke up, and after that there was this picture going around of what kind of looks like Jennie and V both in a car driving to Jeju Island together, with V driving, it looks like. And people were kind of debating, is this a real picture? And is this those two people, those two idols? And, some people think that it's them. Some people think it's just people that resemble them, because they're both wearing sunglasses, the two people in this picture. And I think that's a really strong point, is that when you have sunglasses on, your eyes can't be seen, so it's hard to identify the person with certainty. So, I mean, these could be just two random people with sunglasses on that kind of look like V and Jennie. And there's some people that think it's V and J-Hope, but that it, edited from In the Soup. Somebody just like pasted Jennie on top of J-Hope, I guess. So, that's a possibility too. Since that photo's been circulating, there hasn't been any other details to go with it. Like, I don't even know who took the picture. Is it just some other person in a car, or I don't know, but there's no date. So we don't know when they supposedly went on this vacation to Jeju Island. And another thing is, her hair is orange right now, as far as I know. I think she just recently dyed it. So if this is them, then I don't know how long ago them being in this car was, because her hair is black in the photo. And I don't see why, if they were really dating and going to an island vacation, why would they drive in the same car? Wouldn't they drive separately or get there separately? Or, one person in front, another in the back, and maybe other people in there, so it doesn't look like two people dating. I just feel like if it was them, they wouldn't just be both in the front of the car, because that it'd be so easy to see them. And they weren't, this photo, the two people didn't look like they're trying to disguise themselves very much. Like, they don't have a hat on. No one has a hat on. I don't know. It's just, it's very odd that we have like so little detail on this, and it just makes me very skeptical. So my personal opinion is it's a photo. It's not a video. And a photo is two-dimensional, and these two people were wearing sunglasses. So from an angle, I'm sure two people who aren't V and Jennie might look just like them. I mean, there's people that look similar to them and could look almost exactly like them with sunglasses on. So I personally think it's not them. I think it's just two people that resemble them. There's actually this Korean model who resembles V, and some people's theory was, oh, he's the one in the car with Jennie. And so many people started messaging this guy that he posted on his social media, and he said that the guy in the car is not me, so please stop messaging me, or something like that. So I think that strengthens the theory that it could be a picture of two people who are not V or Jennie. And it's not that I'm against them dating. I'm actually not against whoever they want to date, V or Jennie. I mean, it's possible they are dating. I just don't think they would be seen like that, so obvious in a car. Because idols know how to not be seen, and why would they risk that? That's my thing. And some people are speculating maybe YG is doing this because they're circulating this photo that somebody found, and it probably isn't them. But then they're leaking it out so that people will start talking about Blackpink, because, you know, they're planning on having a comeback soon, and they've been kind of off the grid for, you know, a good year and a half, and maybe this is a way to get Jennie back out there. I don't know. I mean, that might be something they would do. And it could also be somebody at YG who just did this unauthorized, you know, like some disgruntled worker or something. And they know that leaking a Jennie pic will cause a lot of people to be angry at Jennie, like especially ARMY. They'll send her some bad comments. And so maybe some rogue person released this to try to send negative comments to Jennie. There is this is following her and G-Dragon supposedly breaking up, which I don't think, this is just my opinion, but I don't think they were ever dating in the first place, because they were never really seen together. They never confirmed it. I think it was only Dispatch that found out that Jennie had gone to his house during the pandemic, and that's all we have to go on. That's not much. So I think that situation could have been YG, you know, setting up a relationship for publicity, like to try to benefit both of those idols. Like that's both of their artists. So maybe that's why they thought, oh, let's have rumors that they're in a relationship. That'll make them both look good and get more buzz going. So I didn't really believe they were dating. And I saw a blind item somewhere that said Jennie, her actual boyfriend is, you know, not a famous person. This rich guy who's the son of a tech millionaire or something like that, which I could believe. Like that, some rich person is who would be dating Jennie. I think that would be pretty likely. I don't think necessarily idols date each other. That might be like too much. And it's like two people who are both really busy. So I think it's kind of difficult if it's two idols dating and not even in the same agency. So, I mean, I was skeptical of that ever being a real thing. And then, so following that, I guess she's supposedly dating V, and we still have like very thin evidence for that. I'm just a skeptic here. And some people think that Hybe is putting this out there to distract from... There's a bullying scandal with the new girl group. I'm not even going to try to say it. I don't know how to pronounce their name, but there's a girl group, and then there's one girl that's being accused of bullying, which I don't know the full story, so I'm not going to try to have an opinion on that. But people think Hybe, maybe they let this V dating Jennie story circulate out there to try to distract from that, which that would make zero sense if that's what Hybe is doing, because why would you risk someone from your top group being damaged, and it's right before a comeback? Like, you don't want... They wouldn't want this story to be out there and potentially hurt BTS, because, like, okay, not that dating is like such a bad thing, but you don't know how that can turn. The fans, like, well, there might be, a bunch of negative energy happening, a lot of negative comments. Like, people get emotional about dating still, so it wouldn't be something that they would intentionally put out there. So I think that's not a plausible theory. So there's a Korean YouTuber out there who is always talking about idol stuff, and I don't put a lot of credibility on this person. He seems to have not very good evidence. It's like all speculation. It's like, well, these two idols are dating because they both have similar captions, and it's on a picture that's like 5 months apart, and it's like, well, how is that any of that connected? Like, it's evidence like that where it's like not real evidence. So this YouTuber said that Jennie and V have both taken a picture in front of the same statue at a clothing store in LA, and so that's supposed to be evidence that they're both dating, because they both took a picture at the same place. But I think that clothing store is just a popular clothing store, and so I'm sure K-pop idols, they talk amongst each other like, oh, what's the hot place in LA to buy some designer clothes, and they probably know that place. And by the way, V knows Jennie, and I guess they're in kind of a friend circle where, a bunch of people know each other, so it's not like they're total strangers or anything. They're probably friends at minimum, and oh, I went to this clothing store. It's like, oh, okay, it sounds cool, let me check it out when I'm in LA. That's totally something that can happen. The other thing is, J-Hope took a picture at that same exact clothing store and that statue, and so, okay, does that prove he's dating Jennie, or is J-Hope dating V, or what? Because if you're going to say that's evidence, then what about J-Hope's picture? That's supposed to be evidence too then. So I think that didn't add to the evidence at all, this YouTuber and his speculation. And then the latest thing here is that there's an airline employee who posted to this Korean social networking app for the workplace that claims that they saw V and Jennie on a flight to Jeju Island. And I guess this app is, okay, if you work for a certain company, it confirms that you do, because I guess you have to have a work email and whatever identifying info that proves that you work for that place. And then you can probably post on there, probably like Indeed. It's like, oh, let me do a review of my workplace and say, oh, it's really terrible to work at this place. Don't come here, or the pay is terrible, or the conditions are bad. So it's probably like that. So this airline worker supposedly saw V and Jennie on a flight going to Jeju Island. So I guess they were in a car and then they took an airplane. Like, I don't know how you get there. I mean, it's on an island, so I guess an airplane has to be involved at some point. But I didn't feel like this was very strong evidence either. Like, I'm sure the person really does work at that airline. Like, but that's all that's validated there. As far as I know, they didn't post any evidence of seeing V and Jennie. Like, there was no picture of them at the airport, and there was no nothing with their name on it. There's no like flight manifest, or I don't know, like whatever would have their names that and the date to say, look, they both went there at the same time. So I thought that was pretty weak evidence as well. This airline employee could have just made it up. And so this flight was supposedly on May 21st. But the other thing is, this airline employee worked for a discount airline. And why would these two people who are millionaires fly a discount airline? That doesn't make sense to me. And if you're saying, oh, well, they did it to be incognito. Well, you can't, because the employees are going to see you and other people on the flight are going to see you. So that wouldn't be a reason to fly a discount airline. Like this is a JetBlue or something. And you wouldn't be not seen. Like you'd still be seen. Like you're going to be seen on a discount airline just as much as you're going to be seen on a major airline, is what I'm trying to say. I don't think that would be the reason to do that. And the other thing is, we don't have any other passengers on that flight to Jeju Island that are speaking out that say, oh yeah, I saw them there. Or I have a photo, here's a photo of the back of their heads, I'm on the same flight. Like, we didn't see anything like that. So all we've got is this photo of me and Jennie in a car, which it could be different people. The fact that they both took a picture in front of the same statue in LA at, 4 months apart. Okay, that doesn't prove anything. And then this airline employee who all we have is their word that they saw them. That's all they're giving us. So, I mean, I'm not trying to debunk this, but I'm just trying to think critically. It's like, are they dating or not? I'm just trying to figure that out. And, of course, neither label is really saying anything about it, and I guess there wouldn't be any benefit to saying anything, because then that will just keep fueling the rumors. So I don't see any evidence right now. And I mean, I think they could be dating. They probably have, I'm sure they've met, and then they talk to each other, and they're both cute, and they got the idol career going, and probably only another idol understands the lifestyle of an idol and like the grueling schedule. So they definitely have common interests. But yeah, I don't think we've been given enough to say what's really going on. And the whole Jennie and V narrative, it just feels like a little forced. I mean, does it seem weird to anyone else? Every 5 minutes there's like a new all K-pop story, and it's like, okay, well, you have more evidence, but it's not really evidence if you really look at it. It just seems like somebody wants that to be a story, or somebody wants that to keep being in the headlines for their own purposes. And the fact that the artists and the labels haven't said anything, like, I don't think that means it's true, because they're not saying it's not true. I just think they don't really want to create more of a story there. At least that's how I'm reading it. I don't know. I mean, maybe we'll find out what's really going on, or this will all stop being discussed in a few days. So time will tell. That's my analysis of this situation. I think that it is too soon to say anything definite. And other things that happened this week, we've gotten some Instagram posts from other BTS members. They're out and about in Korea doing some stuff. I saw that Jin went golfing. He posted a funny video of he was trying to tee off, but then the ball just fell right off of his tee. So that was good. And he also visited celebrity chef Baek Jong-won's house, and then they ate some ribs together. If you remember, that's that famous chef that was on that Run BTS episode. So that's what Jin's doing. He's eating and golfing. And J-Hope visited Louis Vuitton in Korea, it looks like, and he ate some food at a really fancy restaurant there. And RM visited some art galleries and a historical palace, possibly that same one from that Run BTS episode where they were all playing the different roles of the people in the village. And yeah, I'm glad they have time to do fun things while they're, getting ready for their comeback. Like, I would think it's a busy time right now, but it looks like they're still able to do other side things in these couple of weeks before their album release. Haven't seen any Suga posts since that came out. No Jimin posts since Vegas, I don't think. So, I mean, that's totally his right to kind of lay low for now. I'm sure it's like exhausting trying to be on social media and see what's going on, and he must be focusing on work is what I'm guessing. So that's totally fine. Love that for Jimin. Sometimes it's good to just focus on one thing, like just do work or just do your hobbies on a weekend or just read in one weekend, So I think Jimin not posting anything in a while is his way of focusing on what he needs to focus on. And then we haven't seen any V posts, but, maybe he's been busy dating Jennie these last few weeks. Jungkook had an Instagram post, and it was him singing, so that was pretty nice. Yeah, I haven't seen him do one of those Q&A in his stories lately, so I guess he's being kept pretty busy, because I think he only does those when he's like doesn't have anything to do and he's bored, and he's like, I'm gonna just get on Instagram and answer some Q&A. Starting on May 16th, BTS started posting individual videos, which they're calling proof of inspiration. And each of the videos, one member would talk about why they chose the 2 songs they chose for the second CD on Proof. And as we know, each member chose a solo song, and they also chose another song that they are on. Before I even get into what they were saying on their videos, you can see that the footage that they used in the videos, it's everything came from the Las Vegas time when they were doing Permission to Dance concerts. And some of it was concert footage, or it was sound check footage, or, them behind the scenes in Vegas. Like I saw that when a couple of them went to the Bellagio fountain, there was some footage from that, and Jin had footage from in front of New York, I think it was. I think I saw the Statue of Liberty, and I think I saw the Eiffel Tower in one of theirs, and also when RM visited the 7 Magic Mountains, that's in there. But you also saw some places that we don't recognize, and they were wearing outfits that I don't think we've seen, and it showed them standing on some kind of a stage with microphones, and it looked like they're somewhere in the desert in Nevada filming something. So I think that is from the MV that they were trying to film in between the 2 weekends of the concert, because I think it was Jimin who alluded to that in a V Live later. He said that they had a day at least where they were trying to film something and had to be cut short, after they already got there and everything. It got cut short because there was a sandstorm. So I don't know if they got enough of what they wanted to film or not, but yeah, some of the proof of inspiration footage is from that site. So we'll see if there's any more to come from that, or if maybe they just like, well, this didn't work out, so we're just going to use that footage for this proof of inspiration videos, and then that's it. That's all we could do with that. And I think someone on Twitter had figured out the exact location too. I mean, I have no idea how people do this, but they just saw in the background there were some structures and things. And so somebody figured out that it was at some abandoned water park that's 2 hours from Vegas, somewhere in the desert. And it's in California, so it's on this side of the border. So I guess midweek they drove 2 hours, tried to film something there, and the weather was not cooperating, and then they came back. So that was the first thing you can see in these videos, is you recognize, especially if you went to the concerts, you recognize the stadium and what that looked like, and some of the landmarks of Vegas in there, and this supposed footage of this MV that they tried to film. And as far as what they said, it sounds like, they went into some introspective comments there. They were talking about their stage persona being separate from themselves as a person, and a couple of them were talking about that, the duality, and also having different sides of themselves, and that they feel that ARMY accepts all of their sides. And I think they're trying to tie it all in with proof, and the way that ARMY is their proof, and then that's how we feed into why they're as successful as they are now. And it's a two-way relationship, the same way that they help us in our lives, when we're stressed out or we're struggling. It's like we listen to BTS music, or we listen to them speak about things, and they help ARMY, and then we help them. So that's a lot of what they were talking about with their proof of inspiration. So it's like ARMY is inspiring their work just as much as we're inspired by music they're creating. And as far as the song selections, I think Jimin talks about living up to ARMY's expectations and showing them all of the different sides that he has. And he talks about if it's important to show all those different sides, otherwise you look colorless. And I guess they're using colorless as a way to say like one-dimensional. So it's important to show multiple sides, so that you're not seen as just one type of artist or one type of singer. RM was talking about not just himself as an artist and himself as a person, but also as a friend and as a family member and as a musician, as a humanitarian even. So I guess because he picks persona, so of course he's going to go into those themes of identity. And I think a lot of people were surprised that he is the one who chose Stay. And I think he's like Stay's biggest fan. Like RM loves Stay. I think he's a big fan of, Jungkook's work on that. He's proud of it, and I think he really loves the finished product, and so that's why Stay keeps popping up in the concerts, which I think some people were surprised about. And Suga said he chose Seesaw and Cypher Part 3 because he wanted to pick two contrasting songs. So it's like one chill song and then one hardcore rap song. So I think he wanted to show not necessarily duality or anything, but it's like shows how much range that he has as an artist. He wanted to see how far he can go with genres. Like I can do a song that's like this and then something else that's the complete opposite. And that's just a fun exercise. And I think ARMY feeds into that because we'll let him know like the songs that we love. So he's going to say, well, this worked. This song got a lot of streams. So clearly people embraced it. And then to add to the evidence of did BTS film a music video in Las Vegas, I remember during that week there were people saying that, so-and-so is also flew to Vegas, and it was like their director and their choreographer and their videographer and their stylist, and it's like, all these key people, which I don't know if those people would necessarily fly with them if it was just concerts, because they have different jobs. It's not running a concert, and so maybe those people, just the fact that they went means they were there for filming a music video. I mean, or I don't know, maybe Hybe just said, hey, everybody, we're all going to Vegas. You guys can, maybe you don't have to work, but, we're all Hybe. Let's all be there and you guys can watch the concert. I mean, I don't know how cool of a company they are, but maybe, I don't know. But that's what some people were saying. They're a lot of key people that BTS uses when they film MVs happen to also be in Vegas, or, at least they were posting on social media that they were. Yeah, and I do remember that they didn't have a ton of activity in between the concerts. Like, well, I showed the, when BTS caught a show or anything like that, or they went to Topgolf or went to see Bruno Mars or went to see Silk Sonic, those couple of fun things, outings that they had, or went out to Carbone. I talked about that, but that wouldn't have taken up all their time. Like if they took a whole day or a whole 2 days to film an MV, they definitely could have squeezed that in there in between the weekends. You can listen to BTS Happy Hour on Amazon Music, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other podcast platforms, or visit btshappyhour.com. If you like the show, please take a moment to rate us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Weverse. If you've listened all the way to the end of the episode, thank you for being a true fan of the podcast. And in honor of Louder Than Bombs, comment with a bomb emoji on our latest Instagram post. Until next time, this has been the BTS Happy Hour. Thanks for listening, and remember, make every hour a happy one.